Alright, let's complete our remaining functions. So the next function we will write is generate SQL from natural language query. So let's uncomment this block, function definition, and if we see here, so when we call this function we pass natural language query and schema info, and from that we expect it to generate a SQL query. Okay, so let's do that. So tab, first in comment we will write, so what is this function about. So we will use OpenAI to generate SQL from natural language. Okay, and then so in prompt we will define some prompt, right, and we will provide it to OpenAI. So this will be a dynamic multi-line string. We will say that you are an expert SQL developer and convert the following natural language query into SQL. Yeah, so let's type it, and we will provide our dynamic variables. Yeah, and then so database schema information, and we will give that dynamic value schema info. Yeah, and then second is the natural language query, like what user asked for, and in here we will use that dynamic variable natural language query, and here we will tell it that return only the SQL query, right? That's what we want. We don't want anything like this is your result or anything like that. We just want the query. So return only SQL query without any additional explanation or formatting. Okay, so our prompt is very simple. Yeah, and now we will make use of this OpenAI client, right? We defined it here, created an instance. So we have this prompt variable, so let's give enter, right? It will be much cleaner. Yeah, and then again try catch block and exception as E, print dynamic error generating SQL, and we will show that error E, and we will return none. Okay, so let's write our function definition. Response, so we'll create one variable. In the inside that we will store our response client. So this instance we created for OpenAI, right? So here we can access the function that client dot chat dot completions dot create, and in here we will select model equal to GPT 3.5 turbo. So you can use other model as well. So in the drop down you can see, I think GPT 3.5 is more fast compared to other one, that's why I decided this. Or you can even use 4.0 as well, 4.0 and 4.0 mini. So yeah, O3 mini is also there. So we will just use 3.5 turbo, it is fast, that's why. And then another parameter is messages, and inside this array, and first object role and it is of system. Yeah, and the content for that is you are a helpful SQL assistant. Okay, and second is role. This will be for user, and then content for that is the prompt which we built at top right, this one. Yeah, so let's copy this comma, and there is another variable temperature. Yeah, and we will set it to 0. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. That's what we need to make this happen. Okay, and here after this we will return like response dot choices of 0, like first index, and then message dot content dot strip. Yeah, so that's how. Oh, look at that, we forgot the comma here, right? Okay, so that's why it was showing this red warning. Okay, okay, so when we get the response we will return it from here. If there is error, then we will return none. Okay, so once this function is done, we can get the response SQL query, right? Now if there is database, and I mean if database is Postgres, then we need to process it further, right? Because we want to wrap the database queries, I mean the table, and once we get the SQL query, we will again then process it for the Postgres database, right? So let's uncomment this, and let's write the description for this. Okay, so if using Postgres wrap table and column identifiers, tables and column identifiers in double quotes. Yeah, so that's what this function is going to do. So now we will check if tb underscore type, now this is the parameter we will get, right, is not equal to PostgreSQL. Yeah, okay, we don't need to add this, or not SQL query. So basically if SQL query is not present, or if it is not PostgreSQL, right, so then we will return the SQL query itself. So whatever that is sent, we will return that same string. Yeah, now let's say if it is a valid case that I mean if the function has the SQL query actual data present and the DB is PostgreSQL, then what we need to do is we will create like simple pattern of words, right? So I will just define here keywords, yeah, and so it will be a array from join update into, so this some generic words, and for each keyword, so this is keyword, right? So that's why it keywords in keywords. So we are iterating through the loop, and then SQL query equal to, so we will write some regex expression that will replace those words with the double quotes, right? So re.sub, and in here rf double quotes question mark I slash b and keyword slash yes plus quotes slash w plus. Okay, and lambda m colon f single quote m dot group 0. See, now this part is dynamic, so we will cover it with the curly braces. Let's split of 0 first item and double quotes m dot group of first. Okay, and we'll pass SQL query as a third parameter, SQL query. So basically what we are doing is, so in first we will detect like if the keyword is matching from here, and we will pass like we have to check in this, and then we are taking the double quotes and replacing the original word, like group of first is the quotes and one is the word, right? So that's what we're doing, and we will save it in the SQL query itself, right? Okay, now we need to do same thing for other. So here, so I will write comments so you will know that quote columns in where clause. So this is for the keywords, right, that is present in the start, just like from or join or update, okay, etc. And this is for the keywords which are in the where clause. Yeah, now here we need to write SQL underscore query equal to re dot sub, and here we will write regex single quote question mark I, yep, and then where or and or okay, so yes plus the braces slash w plus slash s and multiply equal to. Okay, so it will match all of those remaining. So this is first parameter, our regex pattern, and then second is lambda m colon f of in curly braces m dot group of 1, and then space double quotes m dot group of 2. Okay, and this will be in curly braces. Okay, and here we need to enter equal comma and the actual variable on which we want to process this regex SQL query. So similar thing what we did at the top, we will do it for the words which are present in where clause, and we will store that response in the SQL query, and we will return it from the SQL query. Okay, so let's go through our code one more time. So at top we have defined our libraries, functions, imported everything. We created app instance in the Flask, then we set the secret key, then we created instance for OpenAI. Okay, so and after that we have defined some functions which we will make use of later.